Industrial development stretched toward the town. Between the dripping trees, the remains of a path still showed. A man in early middle age kicked at the tall nettles and docks to widen it. Neat in her navy business suit, a younger woman followed. She paused to take some photographs with her phone. "I hope you don't mind, but we've put out some feelers and we're already beating them off with sticks. Prime brownfield location." The man stared through the trees, not listening. "There, thought for a moment it had vanished." An old wooden beehive stood camouflaged against the trees. The woman drew back. "I won't come any closer," she said. "I'm a bit funny about insects." "So's my father. He calls them his girls." The man looked up at the low gray sky. "Is that more rain? What happened to summer?" The woman glanced up from her phone. "I know. I've forgotten what blue sky looks like. Must be hard with the kids out of school." "They barely notice. They're always online." He walked forward and peered closer at the hive. A few bees emerged from a small hole at the bottom. They walked along a narrow wooden ledge and hummed their wings. He watched them for a while, then turned back to her. "I'm sorry, now is not the right time." "Oh," she put her phone away. "Have you changed your mind?" He shook his head. "No, I'll sell." He cleared his throat. "But not yet. It feels wrong." "Of course," she hesitated. "I suppose it's very hard to know approximately." "Could be months. Could be tomorrow." The woman allowed a respectful silence. "Well, rest assured that when you are ready, it's a seller's market." She began walking back along the path. The man stood alone by the hive. On impulse, he put his palm against the wood as if feeling for a pulse. Then he turned and followed her. Behind them, bees rose into the brightening air. 1. The cell squeezed her, and the air was hot and fetid. All the joints of her body burned from her frantic twisting against the walls. Her head was pressed into her chest and her legs shot with cramps, but her struggles had worked. One wall felt weaker. She kicked out with all her strength and felt something crack and break. She forced and tore and bit until there was a jagged hole into fresher air beyond. She dragged her body through and fell out onto the floor of an alien world. Static roared through her brain, thunderous vibrations shook the ground, and 1,000 scents dazed her mind. All she could do was breathe until gradually the vibration and static subsided, and the scent evaporated into the air. Her rigid body unlocked, and she calmed as knowledge filled her mind. This was the arrivals hall, and she was a worker. Her kin was Flora, and her number was 717. Certain of her first task, she set about cleaning out her cell. In her violent struggle to hatch, she had broken the whole front wall, unlike her neater neighbors. She looked, then followed their example, piling her debris neatly by the ruins. The activity cleared her senses, and she felt the vastness of the arrivals hall and how the vibrations in the air changed in different areas. Row upon row of cells like hers stretched into the distance, and there the cells were quiet but resonant, as if the occupants still slept. Immediately around her was great activity, with many recently broken and cleared out chambers and many more cracking and falling as new bees arrived. The differing scents of her neighbors also came into focus, some sweeter, some sharper, all of them pleasant to absorb. With a hard, erratic pulse in the ground, a young female came running down the corridor between the cells, her face frantic. "Halt!" Harsh voices reverberated from both ends of the corridor, and a strong, astringent scent rose in the air. Every bee stopped moving except the young female, who stumbled and fell across Flora's pile of debris. Then she clawed her way into the remains of the broken cell and huddled in the corner, her little hands up. Cloaked in a bitter scent that hid their faces and made them identical, dark figures strode down the corridor toward Flora. Pushing her aside, they dragged out